my mom was a fierce provider, a fierce protector. She took care of my grandparents. She took care of our farm. And but if I could also describe when she met my dad, I saw this side that she would say men were decoration. And if men aren't providing things in your life, then they don't need to be there. So I kind of grew up with that complex as well, just very matriarchal. Intense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Welcome to Big Girl Thoughts. Real women, real talk, real faith. I'm Ashley, and this is our space to connect, laugh, and dive into life's beautiful, messy parts. Every Big Girl Thoughts are worth celebrating. Grab your coffee or a glass of wine, get comfy, and let's journey together, one real, raw, and remarkable conversation at a time. Hey babe, welcome to Big Girl Thoughts. I'm your host, Ashley, and today I get to sit down with my beautiful friend, Victoria. Her story is one of grit, grace, and God's redemption. She is an amazing prayer warrior, definitely one you would want in your inner circle. I'm excited to sit down and talk to her. She has a story that is just amazing. She's such a conqueror, from being adopted at birth to, loss of her mom, which I can relate, and a moment that was one of her darkest times in hearing God's voice. So you're not going to want to miss this amazing episode. Hi.
Yeah, let's go.
How long have we been talking about you coming on?
Well, I can just rewind, like just hearing your vision about this podcast, the vision that you have for women. Yeah. I feel honored that you would just invite me in. So kind of see how the sausage was made. And now I get to be here today. It's pretty cool.
It is really cool. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Do you like how the sausage is made?
I mean, if this is the most beautiful sausage I've ever seen. So thank you so much.
It's super fun. I'm so glad that you said yes. I just have to brag on you. We have had so many conversations on the phone. A lot of our conversations are on the phone. And I can only just hope that women could have someone like you to call their friend. I mean, you are one that, like, we talk about all the things.
Yeah.
And I just love that. I love what a prayer warrior you are. And even just before shooting this episode, you were just like, we're going to pray. And I love that so much about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not who I've been, not who I was raised to be, but I've learned that that's just how you just have that circle of protection around you. That there's just nothing that prayer, you really can't. It just makes everything else make sense.
No, makes it all better. Okay, so we met at church. Do you remember when we met 2 years ago?
Yeah, we met.
Did I say something inappropriate?
No.
Okay, good.
You're just always a ball of light. You were the door that I always wanted to walk through. I'm like, I love that lady on welcome team. And then you went from the lady that I knew to the lady in Next Steps. And then to when I began serving in small groups. And you were taking over as the women hub leader and coaching other women. Right. That we had just a pretty deeper conversation where I began to think, oh my gosh, Ashley is someone that I feel I need to surround myself with, and someone that there's just like a deep well inside of you. I think that not everyone gets the privilege to really tap into.
Oh, that's sweet.
And so the fact that you're sitting here today and doing this, I know it's a deeper well. Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Yeah, this podcast really is about just being able to share our messy middles, right, with someone who, I mean, I always am praying that God will send that listener, to listen to each episode, that, there's something that resonates, just even one nugget or one truth bomb or something that they can go, oh, okay, now I can reset, or I feel refreshed, or, that kind of thing after they listen. So before we get into all of the things, if your story or a part of your story was a Netflix series, what part do you think I would binge on?
Well, understanding that where it gets a little juicy, I guess we could call it that.
Bring it.
Probably would start in the timeline around 2017 through 2019. I think that's where where I began to have an increase in faith. We could start where I was baptized, and that's never, again, the easiest day. That's a great day. But that's also when all heaven gets on alert that you're here to do God's work. And so I would say that I didn't see that fully until now. So probably the juicy part around 2017 to 2019, around the time my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and the things that I've expressed to you about my dad, and just everything we went through felt like a roller coaster. And only recently has that really made sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, let's start with, so you were adopted. Let's talk a little bit about that and sort of what that sort of, did for you growing up. And there were some abandonment issues, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's start there, and then we'll keep on going. You and I have a lot in common. We are recovering people pleasers.
Absolutely.
We both lost our mothers. I too, I was not adopted, but I think there's a lot of us before really walking with Jesus have abandonment issues. A lot of us. I had parents in the home, loved them. It was not a terrible childhood by any means, but they didn't provide what I thought that I needed to be whole. And that was emotional intimacy. They just couldn't provide it. So then I felt, abandoned. So let's talk about your story. You were adopted at birth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So exactly what you just said, that we're all adopted into the kingdom. And being adopted at birth, my mom was such a loving mom. So she adopted me as a single mama. She was a nurse. I like to call myself a love child. So my biological mom was going into the Marines, and my biological dad was her military recruiter. And so my mom just happened to be best friends with my biological mom's best friend.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my mom had to have a hysterectomy, when she had my sister. And so she'd always wanted another baby. And so she adopted me as a single mom, and just to feel so loved and wanted. But also, we've talked about this, like my mom played zero games also. And so it's not the fluffy love that I think sometimes that you want, that was expressed from a mother. And so being adopted at birth, I grew up on a small commercial farm in Indiana. And it definitely was like you take your shoes off. Everyone is at our house at this farm. Just
Country girl.
Country girl, country upbringing.
Yeah.
But definitely discipline. Discipline was something that was important to my mom. And so that's what I would describe as how I was adopted, that adoption story of how that came to be. And then she met my dad when I was 4, and then he adopted me at 13. So I'm actually double adopted. And so there's just been so much blessing in between that. But as you can imagine, where that juiciness of the Netflix story starts is where my mom gets diagnosed with cancer, and then my dad essentially abandons our family. And that's really where I felt like gets to a darker time.
What was it like living on a farm?
Oh my gosh,
You loved it?
I loved it. And almost it was like a bubble, especially being biracial and adopted by a white family. I didn't realize that there was any differences in me until I actually started going to school. And so that was also, if I could rewind, and maybe the second binge would be going to school, where, the things that you might see in those 1960s, horrific, the way people brutalized people at school, that was my truth. And so to have that at 5, going from this loving environment, I actually grew up a lot of my life afraid of white people for that reason, because I was so beaten, terrorized, and things that happened to me at school. I'm just now unpacking with God and going back and healing that place. And so it's not... And I just stand on today, 1 Samuel 16:7, which is people will see outward appearances, but God sees your heart. And I believe he's always seen my heart, even in the most brutal things, that, you just can always keep the light, which is what my mom taught me, is don't play in the dirt with people, especially not with a dress on. So that's what we do.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I lost my mom, too, of cancer. What kind of cancer did your mom have again?
Lung cancer.
Lung. Okay. My mom was ovarian. which was weird at the time because I think, well, I guess it wasn't weird. I mean, the whole thing was weird and like numbing, right? But she was never sick in a day of her life, and then like stage 4, like just out of the blue, you know.
Yeah.
So my mom and I got closer after she was diagnosed. I wanted so badly for my mom to be different. I loved her, right? She was a whippersnapper. She just didn't have any empathy and compassion. And I really needed it. I did. I needed it. But I then, you know, of course, you grow up and you mature and you go through a hard time in the valley. And that was mine, was becoming closer to her. And in her 8-year, you know, just up and down with battling cancer. Right. So tell me a little bit about your guys' relationship. You and I had talked about how I feel like our moms were pretty similar in terms of just, they don't play. Mama didn't play. No. She grew up in the South. And always had a pistol in her purse. She called it her pistol. I'm like, Mom, I don't even know.
Like an actual one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
Like, didn't matter if it was legal or not. She's just like, yeah. And she had a little baseball bat about this big.
That's wonderful.
Always in her big Mercedes or Cadillac. That's all she drove. I'm like, Mom, what are you going to do with that baseball bat? You never know. I'm like, she's like, I'm going for kneecaps. I'm like, oh my
Fantastic.
gosh.
Sounds like I would get along with your mom.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would describe that. I love that she has a pistol and like a sawed-off bat. Like that's pretty great. I would probably say something similar. So my mom's name is Bonnie, but everyone called her Bonnie Joe because that's her middle name. So everybody that came into our lives, I was like always knew her as Bonnie Joe. She was a humanitarian, a nurse. If I could describe my mom, I would describe this time when she brought home this kid from the pediatric care that she was serving as a nurse. I was like, Mom, where did you get this kid? She's like, well, their mom just left him and I wasn't going to leave him there. And so if I could describe my mom, the type of person she is, she raised us that if we could give this shirt off our back, that we give it to someone. And she's like, because we can go to the Dollar Tree and get another one. We can go wherever and get another one, that we have that for us. And so my mom was a strong provider, very strong-willed, and she never allowed us to pity ourselves. And so similar to what you're saying is that I just remember even when my high school sweetheart, you know, that first love, he moved and went away to college, like a natural thing. She put a box of Kleenex in front of me and she said, you have until that box is done to get over it. You're graduating with academic honors and you're going to Indiana University and you're going to be a doctor. And I need you to not cry over boys right now.
Wow. You're like, yes,
okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I could describe that, like my mom, you know, was a fierce provider, a fierce protector. She took care of my grandparents. She took care of our farm. And but if I could also describe when she met my dad, I saw this side that she would say men were decoration. And if men aren't providing things in your life, then they don't need to be there. Wow. So I kind of grew up with that complex as well, just very matriarchal. Intense.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So it sounds like you guys just have had a total loving, almost friendship since, you know, you were adopted, and it seems like you guys were, like, she sounds super loving and, like you said, would give, you know, the shirt off her back to anyone. I remember you telling me too, like she would open your guys' home a lot for people that you didn't know, just to come on in, have a shower, have a meal, right?
Yeah, make them a plate.
That's
what she would say. Make them a plate. I'm like, I have no idea who this person is.
Make them a plate.
Exactly.
I love that. So when did sort of you kind of your identity kind of, because we all had an identity sort of crisis, right? When did that sort of kick in? Even though you felt loved, right? You had a loving mom and your grandparents' farm and, you know, your life was good, right? I mean, at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
When did that sort of identity crisis kick in for you in terms of just maybe your abandonment and identity? Yeah, when did that happen?
You know, to be honest, actually, I don't think it was always underneath. Because my sister...
Like constantly searching?
Constantly underneath. I would say going to school, I always felt othered. Like even my relatives would say, well, Bonnie went and adopted a black baby, and I wasn't invited to certain places, and
Oh my gosh.
my grandmother was not supportive of my mom adopting me.
Yeah.
And so she always othered me from like it would be my two cousins who are girls and my sister's a girl. And so I was really babied by my grandpa, and my grandmother had that, always made me feel othered. And so most of my life I was so loved by my mom. Like if I could describe, like she always wanted to make sure that we looked girly and had everything that we needed. But at the end of the day, I always felt like it was trying to dress up the underlying issues. And so most of my life, like you said, that people pleasing, that perfectionistic mentality was mostly masking the fact that I never felt like I was good enough. And
Shiny on the outside, kind of a little bit dying on the inside.
like just kind of like being behind a glass wall of yourself. So I would say when I went to college, I broke free. But in that, I wasn't allowed, because my sister I got pregnant when she was 18. And so I was not allowed to date. And my sister's 7 years older than me. And a lot of the things that my mom wanted for me and my sister were projected on me. So always had to get straight A's, or I was not even allowed to go out and socialize. I had to always maintain a certain appearance. And so I'm answering this question. I don't feel like it was ever a certain period. And honestly, it's not until right now, 37, 38, that I feel like I'm stepping into womanhood, into truly how I feel comfortable in expressing myself in my own voice. For so long, I felt like I was climbing this corporate ladder and just being somebody that I was trained to be, not who I am.
Wow. I've never met a single woman that has the confidence and you're so content where you're at. It's pretty impressive. I mean, I just...
Jesus. For sure.
I mean, not that you are not, praying for that man. If you're a man listening and watching,
if you're in the Austin,
Victoria,
Lago Vista area,
exactly, you're a Christian man. She is available. But really though, I'm so impressed by that because of just even. So, this is good. You and I can talk about this because we share this. So, daddy issues. Oh my gosh,
poor mom.
We're one of the millions that have them. My dad was there, right, in the flesh, but not there. And I'm blessed that I didn't go around the world and try to find my dad, but yet I sort of did, but I didn't do that in a way that was, not. I just, it's just so interesting, isn't it? I mean, you think about your dad in the flesh, and then you find Jesus. And then you're like, okay, this is dad. This is daddy. This is a different daddy. Not that I didn't need, my other dad, but it's so different, and it's so wonderful when you can get to that content and peace. And I love that for you. It's really, what could you say like to single women right now that aren't content, that, are maybe just, I mean, we've seen them grasp for straws. They're trying, they're, exhausted. I'm like, girl, get in the back seat. Jesus is the ultimate Uber driver. Stop trying to drive this car.
And just like that, actually give him the keys. And I think it's similar but different. Like you mentioned about your relationship with your dad. When my dad came in my life at 4, I was a daddy's girl. Like, and my grandpa, if I can tell you, I was like, I want a pony. He's like, sweetie, you can't have a pony. And I would ask him, why not? And then the next day I would have like a stuffed animal version of a pony. Oh. I can get a Barbie house. He made me my own life-size dollhouse that I could play in, my own swing set. And everybody knew how much, so I was so loved by and felt protected by the men in my life. So my grandpa, Then my dad, they're both military.
That's awesome.
And so that's what we also have in
Oh my
common.
gosh, that's right.
And
Military.
so I feel like I grew up with this image of, my dad and I, like, we'd stay up and watch Leno together and Letterman. And we had we had a closeness in the ways that that you thought your mom would be there. Like, my dad took me shopping and did things like that with me.
Oh, that's
and
sweet.
So I had that. And so to go back to what I said, when my dad abandoned our family, if I could describe that singleness and even my attempts at dating, that what I've recognized is that the hurt that I felt when being that daddy's girl and my dad abandoning us in the time when you need them the most.
Yeah. And you were 4.
He adopted me when I was 4, and then he left when I was 28. Yeah. And so to walk through that, and it pretty much erased anything that people ask, well, what relationship was your worst, or who broke your heart? And I'm like, my dad did. And so to answer your question, what would I say to single women out there is just allow all that to be in the museum of the past. That as you go forward and you have a desire for a husband, ensure that you're allowing Jesus to make you a wife. Because it says he who finds a wife, not the wife who's out there on a dating app, not the wife who's out there. Be in the places that God has called you to be.
Yeah.
And you'll be found. And that's the faith that I'm standing in today. And so what would I say to single women is live in the fullness of God. He has so much for you. And I know that some of you listen that you might not be in this spiritual place that I am right now. But I just want to be that encouragement, because I'm standing here today full of that. And even maybe a couple months ago, around the holidays, I get a little bluesy, like, oh, here's another Valentine's Day I didn't have someone. Here's another birthday that I don't have that special someone. But then I had a friend like you come through and say, I'm throwing you a birthday party.
That's right.
And I'm going to invite all your favorite women. And so I just believe that when you're living in the fullness of what you love to do, I have hobbies and places and things that I go out and I do things that I love to do.
Yeah.
If you desire a husband, then be a wife first.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Because the Proverbs 31 woman ain't broke. She's not sitting around. She has stuff to do.
Yeah. That's so true. Part of my healing, I think, from just the need to feel whole, because I wanted that emotional intimacy. I mean, it was in my 20s, and I just remember thinking, hang on, I need to understand where mom and dad came from. What were their childhood, what was their upbringing like? And then when I did that, I realized, oh, no wonder. No wonder they can't really give the empathy and compassion that I need, right? And I think there's something so powerful about taking that step back and seeing these two people that you love, but I just saw them in a different, I think it really helped my mom and I's relationship for sure. Because I could see, she grew up with a father that consistently wished that she was a boy, really. He wanted a boy so bad, and back then you didn't, find out the gender, baby comes out, and he's literally disappointed her whole life. So that's, and so I had to figure that out. So she's going to be rough and tough on the edges, and I had to figure that out. And it took me a long time, but then I did. Okay, so then are you okay talking about the dark time, 2020?
Yeah, let's bring it to the light.
Okay. So you heard God's voice, and what you say is one of the darkest moments in your life. Tell us about that. Unpack it a little bit for us. I think a lot of people will relate to this part too. That's why I want to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It is tough. But as you said, it was 2020. That's a dark time, I think, for any of us. If you,
oh my gosh,
I would say survive that. And everyone's story is different. So for me, my mom lost her battle in September 2019, and at the same time, I had just got my big girl job. I had been traveling, 7 states, and I had some of that guilt where I wasn't at home with her as much. And so I was like, oh, when I get this job, I'll be here every day, and I'll do these things, and literally the week that I got my job interview was this my job offer for the, that big girl job. You like, oh, now I could be able to do all the things.
Yeah.
And then she passed. And then my dad tried to come back in and, ask for just so that he could get our property, just so that he could not be around. He hadn't been around for the process, hasn't walked through that process. And so even with him coming back, like, this is Jesus, like, I had to hold back getting out my bat. Like, for sure, because my sister can describe it. She's like, your eyes weren't even there. I was like, I don't even remember that, but I felt in my mind.
You're like, so you're going to come back now?
She said for the first time I also felt like I had a big sister too. Like for a lot of my life, I felt like I was the big sister. And I thought for a moment I was going to get that bat and I might be violent.
Sure.
And that's not even a breath of who I am.
Yeah. You were angry.
Oh, I was rage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so to fast forward that now I have this job. I'm like, yay. And then pandemic hits. And then we also have, civil unrest and, just a lot of things like that I felt were, again, like going from a caregiver. Now I have this intense job.
Yeah. Everybody
is forced to work from home. And that's the luxury of being in the industry I'm in. They're like, you're essential, work from home. I'm like, how bougie is this?
Yeah.
But what it was I was isolated in a 900 square foot apartment. I just lost my mother. The whole world is exploding. And the people that I thought that, you have these friendships and communities that you're a part of. And because the world was, and it all was dark, it felt like there wasn't anyone that checked in. So my dark moment was, and this is dark, that I counted how many days before I heard from anybody. And I thought, I haven't heard from even my sister or my family. Why does it matter that I'm here? Like, I just wanted my best friend back. I wanted my mom back. And that's the darkness when I look back. I'm like, I counted 3 weeks that no one even did a check in. Like, are you okay? And so, like you said, the people pleasing, how many people did you show up when they stubbed their toe, for an example, just to make it dramatic? And so I put together a suicide plan. And, my mom loved Thanksgiving. And I was like, after Thanksgiving, I'm just going to quit my job. Gave this my best. And I was just laying in my bed. And I put on my face for that Thanksgiving. I didn't even spend it really with anyone because we couldn't see each other. Because no one was meeting in person without COVID tests. And yeah, I had just gotten in full agreement with the enemy. And it was the day that I said I was like, I'm going to quit my job and walking in, that I audibly heard the voice of God and said, sis, like I heard like my mom, like how she would say, sis, like it's time to get up. And so I did call my manager and said, I'm going to move. I no longer want to do this corporate ladder race. I didn't say it in that way. And I just explored opportunities. And in that, I was praying too, because like when you hear the voice of God, you're a little shook. And I can tell you, it's like instantly, it's supernatural. I felt that that arise, like you better get up and you better go do that. And so I found Austin, Texas through a job interview. I ended up getting that role. I got this role where I'm in learning and development. I get to teach, I get to coach, I get to pour into other people. So that happened November 2020. And by June 2021, I was here in Austin. So it was a pretty dark time, but
wow,
at least I hit a firm foundation. At least I had a foundation to fall on. The fact that I was a believer and I got to that dark place, in a place of even contemplating suicide, I can't imagine people that are walking through that not being saved.
100%. Wow. Man, that's like some tough stuff. I mean, I'm so happy that you heard a little God, and then your mom, hey sis, get up.
It sounds scary.
What's that?
Scary.
Yeah.
The good fear though.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm so thankful that you could share that part, because it's pretty. Oh man, I know 2020 was just dark for a lot of people. We're not made to be isolated.
No, we're not.
And people who commit crimes are in isolation, right? I mean, it's just like, that's how I see it. And I think, the enemy can he has this goal, to isolate, divide, kill, steal, destroy.
Every day.
Every day. Wow. So, so now you're here in Austin and you've got this great executive coaching job, right? Is that fair to say that's kind of...
That's newer. So
Yeah.
it's something that my company nominated me for. But being in a corporate role, as I would call it, I'm just going to call it my big girl role. And I'm here and they're pouring into me, and I'm excited to see what that coaching journey is. But I believe that God is going to use that in a different way. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want people to hear, that even if you think you're pouring into a company and you think that what you're doing has no purpose, there's something that he's equipping you to do. So be dedicated and appreciative in the details, because it will bring you to something that you just never imagined.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, it seems like you're really walking in your calling. And, I think, doesn't it feel so good?
Some days it's messy.
I mean, totally. Yeah, we're going to have the messy days, but there's this peace that comes.
Oh, it's truly the word, that it's peace that exceeds all understanding. And that's my GPS, my God positioning system. If I don't feel peace, then it's a no. Mm-hmm. And that's when I know, even when it makes no sense, that if you step out there, it makes no logical sense. I even came to Austin and everybody was like, "You're really just going to pack up and move?" I'm like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So if someone gives you something and that looks crazy to everyone else, you say, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean and I moved 13 times. I'm like, bro, please. Yeah. So you want to talk about, and I'm also, Air Force kid. So, I mean, that's, all the moving there too. I got really good at hi, my name's Ashley. It's like a new intro every couple of years. Yeah. And so, I think it's exciting to move and kind of plant, but it's also kind of scary. Like, is this it? Like, am I going to, am I going to find the people and whatever? And I feel like you certainly have found, you found your way, and it's exciting. And then recently you put an offer in a house and you got it.
I did.
And that's so exciting.
It is, and that's also we're in this year of Jubilee, and as a church family, and Ashley, you're part of that. This is our year's celebration, and I've been holding on to that. Not every day perfectly, but every day I have that essence. So this is a praise report of that. I heard, "Don't run," and it maybe on the outside it seemed like when I left Indiana that I was running. My mom had just passed, but there was just nothing left there for me that I felt. And so purchasing a home here it's literally a rock on a hill. And so we're a lamp on that. And there's just been a lot of fresh revelation that I've had in the last week, even, that this is where I'm planted.
That's so great. What could you offer for a woman who is struggling with identity and loss? Maybe of somebody, you had mentioned, like, your faith journey, identity, grief, loss, the healing aspect, actually, that's what I want to say, is how did you heal? What are some things that you did, maybe practically, that you could offer for someone listening on? Because that's a lot of stuff, right? It's not just one thing in your life. It's like everything sort of builds. And then, we have these aha moments, and we have these, come to Jesus moments that help us. But what sort of helped you? What were some major healing points that you could share?
Yeah, and I'll keep it practical, not overly spiritual, because I don't believe in over-spiritualizing everything.
Yep.
Because we're human and we have to do things. So I would say, get in the mindset that you're healing. If you saw someone visibly in a body cast that just got hit by a truck, and every single part of them feels broken, you wouldn't ask them to run a marathon. You'd ask them to lay down. You'd ask them to have people around them that care for them. You would have to then do physical therapy. You'd have to learn to get out that bitterness of all that season, all the things that you're walking through. And then that's a process. And so I would say fall in love with the process of healing. But also get to that coping and grieving. All that's a process. And I believe that that's what we get on is you can fall in love with the method. Oh, I got to do this. And when I do this, and if I do this, and then you're like, then I'm going to have this outcome. No, it's a process. And sometimes you have to go back to square one. And some days you'll have cheat meals, and you have a cheat meal the next day. And, just then they get fewer and fewer of wanting to cut corners and wanting to cheat the process. And so if I could give someone some practicality, it is understand that you're healing, understand that some days are just better than others, but remove yourself from those toxic situations. Go where God is calling you to go. And I don't say that just like, yay, God called me to go here. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's that truly you have to surrender to a way that you're creating an environment to receive that. And it's just, you have to do it. You have to be the one to roll up your sleeves and do it. That God is your Savior. There's no one on this earth come here to save you and do it for you.
Yeah,
so if you're waiting to get a husband and thinking, when I get a husband, when I get this job, let my testimony tell you I got that big girl job and it meant nothing to me because I didn't have anyone to share it with. And so if you're waiting for that husband to come along, what you bring in will only reveal more of what your issues are when you get that thing. So if you got to come in healed and healthy is the important thing, not perfect, but healthy.
That's really good. Yeah. And it's so, all of the searching, right, we do in our 20s and in our teen years, 20s, right, and early 30s, we're trying so hard to just find the thing or the one. And then oftentimes we make that an idol.
Yeah.
Right? We make that killer job that we got. We make that brand new home. We make that first boyfriend. Oh, okay, he didn't work. Second boyfriend. This is the one.
Yeah.
Right. Third one.
It's not a charm.
Right. Third one is not a charm. Yeah. And we tend to do that. We tend to make an idol. But I love that you've really leaned in. I think the big girl thought today is lean in and into the process. Because oftentimes we run from the process, right? So leaning in. Yeah. I mean, it's a thing, man. Like, golly. Yeah.
I felt that, yes.
I mean, listen, I'm 49 and things are going south. Things are going south on the body. You know what? I'm going to lean in, man.
You look pretty great, sis.
Thank you.
Let's just throw that out there.
I'm just going to lean in. Because really it's a control thing. At the end of the day, do we really have control of anything? Do you have control of your boss calling you and, saying, hey, we need to move you into, we won't speak that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many scenarios we could talk about where control, and I see this with a lot of women, and I love the chance to, and I'm not any expert by any mean, but when somebody, comes to me and they ask me, it's usually a control thing. And hello, I've been there. Like, I have totally been there, right? I've been in the front seat with, white knuckle in that that driver's the wheel, right?
And that's a great way that as soon as you said that, it's a visual that I got that I was doing, like even 2020, like when you let your hands off the wheel and you just, like that sigh that you just did, like when you said it was like God is our dad, like he's like, are you done? If I could give the essence of it, it's like, are you done holding on to all these things that I never asked you to pick up? I just let it, like, literally, and then it's amazing how life gets on autopilot, but in this peaceful way. And so you can't control where you're born. You can't control who adopts you. You can't control, and by the way, when you get that husband, you get that job, like you said, it's not yours to control, it's God's to steward. You get to be who you are. And I think that's the freeing part is understanding that God created you to be you.
Yep.
Not to try to be like, I think Lisa Bevere said that, like, don't be a fake man. Don't try to be like, and that's what I would say with my mom, like, try and be this tough person all the time.
Yes.
I don't want to be this fake man. And even though that was modeled for me, I don't.
And by the way, that's exhausting. This.
Like, even my arms want to go up. Like,
that's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. you know, what I love about you the most, Victoria, is I have seen over the last 2 years, you really leaning into that process. Like you have worked on you because you're getting prepared for the man that you know God's going to give you. You're getting prepared to be that mom. I mean, I love that you got the house first. I love it. Because now, like, and, you know, whatever, right? Again, we're not controlling things and, you know, but I just love that you have done this. You've worked on you. And I think we forget about that, right? We try to help others and it doesn't work if we don't work on ourselves.
That's good.
And I'm telling you, I tried it. It doesn't work.
Yes.
So you have to really lean in. You have got to trust him. You have to work on you so that you can be prepared for the next thing. And I know I'm going to look up, we don't know when, but you're going to find that amazing husband and you're going to have the life that you've always wanted because you took the time for healing. So you did your faith journey and your healing journey. And now you're like, okay,
here I am.
You're in charge, Lord. Here I am. Yes. I love it for you.
And as you're saying that, last week I did a 3-day fast. So it actually lined up with where this house came through. But what Revelation came through was reading Queen Esther and how she was an orphan and she was adopted. Mm-hmm. And so what came through as far as relative to process was she went through a 12-month, what they called it, beauty treatments. And when I was reading that, I'm like, here's Uncle Mordecai, not really her uncle, but adopted her. It's like, I want everything like positioning you in that way. Mm-hmm. And so she went through 6 months of doing a certain process, then went 6 months to another process. Mm-hmm. And then, but when the time came to ask to free her people, all she had to do was ask her king. And so when you think about that, like she spent 12 months just being prepared to be in one moment, just to be seen, to be visible. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people go to Ruth and the Boaz story, but how much power is there in Esther and talking about that preparation and trusting in the process?
Isn't it amazing what comes out of that? And she was a queen. So
she became a queen.
I mean, she became a queen.
Yes.
I'm going to the end part.
Let's go. Let's fast forward.
So, Victoria, my dear, you're a queen.
You too, sis.
Thank you so much for coming on and doing this and just sharing some of those nuggets. I just love you. I adore you. I can't wait to see what's next. I have kind of a little fun rapid fire. You'll know the answers for everything.
Let's
go. Okay, let's see. Red wine or white wine?
White.
Really?
Yes.
I'm always I don't know why, but like there's everybody I know loves red and I'm always shocked because I love white wine, but I love both.
Give me a good Pinot. I'm ready.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers.
Yeah. I mean, in our 20s.
Yeah. If I need Dr. Scholl's, I don't need it.
Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Ooh, beach vacay.
Mm-hmm. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Lip gloss or lipstick?
Both.
I am too. I'm totally both. I do the lipstick first. And,
we need a little more.
Get a little gloss. Spa day or shopping spree?
Spa day. All day.
Netflix binge or book in bed?
Book in bed.
I knew it was book in bed.
I don't even have Netflix.
You don't?
No, I'm not subscribed to any of that.
Good for you. Do you watch TV at all?
Not really.
Okay. That's why you're so smart.
I watch your podcast, though.
Yeah. I got to read more.
Oh, there's no shame. Like, we all have that. I want to hear about the stories. I'm recovering because that's what, during pandemic, all I did was scroll. And I just don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. Scrolling Anonymous. Hi, I'm Ashley. It's been 2 days since my last scroll. Yeah. Anyway, I love you so much. You're such a conqueror. By the way, the name Victor, right? Victoria, Victor, it means conqueror. Bro. And that's what you are.
Let's go, sis.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is a blessing.
Thank you so much for joining in on this conversation. Love you guys. See you next time.